Hey guys, what's up? LDShadowLady here with some of my friends for the Survival Starter Base Challenge. We are in a brand new survival multiplayer world, and the goal is to each build our very own survival base in only 7 days. And time starts now. I did not have a game plan from the very beginning, so I just followed my first instinct, which is to always run in the opposite direction from every other player, which just so happened to be towards an incredibly dense jungle. And as I watched a bunch of the other players quickly gaining their very first advancements, I soon realized there was nothing for me here in the jungle, except maybe a few jungle logs. So when I eventually stumbled across this huge cave, I didn't waste any time jumping down into the darkness. Oh no. Wait, okay, this may have been a mistake. This may have been a horrible, terrible mistake. I'm gonna die. Poisoned and alone. Ooh, coal. That'll come in handy if I survive this excursion. Ah! I've fallen into a lush cave? Oh, how nice. Maybe I'll just stay here for a while. We'll just ignore the fact that there's an enderman in here. As long as I don't make eye contact, everything will be fine. Down here in this unassuming lush cave, I had everything I needed to finally upgrade to iron. And I was feeling pretty prepared, but the food situation was a bit dire. I ended up munching on glowberries just to stay alive. So it was about time to get back up to the surface, where I discovered it was raining. Now I had a long journey ahead of me looking for a place to set up my starter base, and my hunger bar was quickly depleting. So I grabbed just about anything I could get my hands on. Melons, cows, mushrooms, I had it all. And I also had loads of these firefly bushes, which I collected along the way. Not super helpful right now, but they will become relevant later. Speaking of things that aren't very helpful, the next thing I decided to do for some reason was to breed these turtles. So yes, there's me digging out my shears, going out of my way to get some seagrass, and playing Cupid with these turtles. Weirdly enough, I didn't even stick around to see the eggs. I just went along my merry way towards the mangrove swamp. Ooh, wait, this is actually really cool looking. I like this swamp. And this is a really cool bay. Maybe I should build a base in the swamp. Before I get too attached, I should probably check nobody else was here first. But it seems like nobody else wants it for some bizarre reason. So it's mine. Okay. I think we should have a path that comes from the water, and it comes around here, maybe up here. Be cool if it went under here, and yeah, we're gonna need to clear some of these trees. Now, if you've ever chopped a mangrove tree down before, you will know the pain and suffering that I endured for the next 30 minutes, as I painstakingly chopped down each tree, roots and all, to make way for my starter build. So as we reach the end of day 1, this is my progress so far. Yeah, I actually didn't do anything on day 2, so I wasted an entire day, so today we have to do some building. But luckily, the materials I'm going to be building with today are actually the very materials I collected yesterday. Yes, that's right, I'm reusing all these mangrove logs, because this is a starter build, and we can't be wasting materials now. And I have decided I want to live in a giant tree stump. So the first thing I'm doing is creating a giant circle shape with these logs. That should be a good size for a starter base anyway. Now we just need to build this up in the vertical direction.
12 seconds later.
Now see what's happened here is I have severely underestimated the amount of mangrove I'm going to need. So, back to my chopping. And the slow, painful chopping of each mangrove tree was made worse by the fact that I only had a stone axe now. And my motto in Minecraft is that you can do anything with stone tools if you have enough patience. But today, I simply ran out of patience. And so, I decided to resort to something I thought I would never do. You see, we do have a data pack on this server that helps you chop down trees faster. But in order to use it, I am going to need a gold axe. So I went back underground in search of gold. And instead, I found a mineshaft. I'm here for one thing and one thing only. And that's gold. But after lots of searching, a few jump scares, and a few spider bites.
Oh no.
Oh no, this was all I could find. A single gold ore block. And then I stumbled into something unusual in the caves. What was that?
There's something in the cave with me. It has a diamond axe.
Oh, that's scary. Wait. Hi, what are you doing down here in my caves?
I came to kill you, just kidding.
Honestly, at this point, I wouldn't even care anymore. I've got nothing.
I have more. I have elytra.
Oh yeah, what the heck? Oh my gosh, wait. Those look so cool. Go on, fly around then.
I only have 4 rockets. Okay, I will fly one. I will waste 1 rocket. Whee!
Whee! Wow. Bet you don't even have mending on those things, huh?
No. Also, do you want to see something really cool that I got? That is like rare.
Yeah? What is it?
Look at this horse.
Wait. Oh, it's a zombie horse.
Yes!
Look at that. You got the rarest horse in the game, and I have a log. Please don't think this is my finished build, by the way. I haven't finished gathering all my materials yet. I still need to get some spruce. Have you happened to have seen a taiga biome around here, actually?
There's spruce by my base, like a lot of spruce.
Oh, well, maybe if you show me the way, maybe I'll come with you.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to follow me on my horse.
So there I was, trying to keep up with Sev on her zombie horse as she zoomed towards her base. Or at least in the vague direction of her base. We did get lost a few times, and I'm pretty sure we took a giant circle around the map. But we did eventually arrive at her base, where we struck a deal. In exchange for 9 gold ingots, all I had to do was clear out some spruce trees for her, and I would get to keep the spruce as well. This was truly a win-win, and I could not have been happier with this trade. Thanks for the gold.
Yeah, thank you for working for me.
No problem. Bye.
Bye. Oh, it's raining.
Oh, it's bloody raining. This always happens to me. And to make matters worse, I had no idea how to get back to my base from here. So I was just roaming around aimlessly, chatting to my friends, until I was jump scared by Jojo in the most majestic fashion possible. Wait, who? Dude, Jojo just swam up to me at the speed of light. I'm so
Oh my gosh.
confused. What just happened? Get in, hop in.
Okay.
And with Jojo now on board, we were able to find civilization once more.
Oh wait, that's Tan's thing on the left.
Where?
On the left,
How's
turn
this
left.
happened? Oh, over there.
Yes.
What? This is a starter base?
It's Tanisha.
After dropping Jojo off at Tan's man-made island, I discovered that luckily my base was actually just a stone's throw away. And I finally made it home, where I could test out my new golden axe on these mangrove trees. Whoa, that is so much easier than what I was doing. The tree's just chopping itself down. And so, with questionable ease, I spent the rest of day 3 chopping down mangrove trees. We are like halfway through this challenge now, and my build is still looking like an actual pile of poop. So today was all about adding detail. I used spruce slabs, stairs, and trapdoors to make the tree look more tree-like. And it was a long process of trial and error over the course of many, many hours. I often worked late into the night, and it would have been so lonely if it weren't for this little guy keeping me company. Oh my gosh! What the heck? I don't even know how that frog got there! What? Oh, that was horrible. But there's no time to mourn, I need to place some leaves. But nothing could cheer me up after that loss. In fact, faffing around with all this foliage actually made things worse. And so, by the end of day 4, my build was still incomplete. It's mushroom day, it's mushroom day! No swamp build would be complete without some decorative mushrooms. So I'm gonna add some to my tree. However, I do not have the kind of time I need to grind out a silk touch enchantment. Which means we're gonna have to use some more easily obtainable blocks. So my red and white mushrooms are gonna have to be made out of mangrove planks, of which I have plenty, and pale oak planks, of which I have none. And unfortunately, the Pale Oak Garden is at least 1,000 blocks away. So I'm gonna try my luck with the old classic strategy of stealing from your neighbors. Because now I know that Tanisha lives just around the corner. And I just know she has some Pale Oak saplings sitting around somewhere, probably. I don't know. But it's worth a try. Obviously, Tanisha isn't online right now, so there's nobody to witness my crime. Except for this happy guest. even though I'm pretty sure if she was online, she would quite willingly give me the pale oak saplings anyway. I just love a covert operation. So, where would she keep her... What the heck is this? Sorry? There's a whole world inside this rock. How has she done this in 5 days? And more importantly, does she have any pale oak saplings in here? What the heck is this? All these barrels are just for show. They're all empty. Where's all of her stuff? Don't tell me there's another section to this thing.
My God.
What? This is a starter build? But just when it seemed that Tanisha had everything inside this grand chest room, it turned out she didn't have any pale oak saplings. So, I was sent off on my way, saplingless and feeling more inadequate than ever, on a 1,000 block voyage to the pale oak forest. Now this is the part where I would usually include some fun moments from my trip, maybe some cool scenery, or an unexpected encounter, but I was actually just watching England v Croatia in the World Cup on Discord with my friends, and Harry Kane scored a penalty right when I found the Pale Garden.
He does, no, mini stutter, scores it!
Same way, let's go.
So I just mined my pale oak in peace, enjoying the ambiance of a bunch of lads enjoying a game of football. And once back at my base, all I had to do was attach the mushrooms to my tree, and maybe a few in the surrounding area. And look what a difference that has made. But unfortunately, that's all I have time for today, so... I think it's about time that we sorted out this interior. I've been living with a hole in my floor since the creeper blew it up. And none of my stuff is organised. So first we need to empty this place out. Okay, now I can see what I'm working with. And it's not much. So I spent the next hour or so rearranging the few items that I had into this cramped interior. And as this is only a starter build, I just had the basics. And I wanted to reuse as much of my leftover materials as possible. So you'll see lots of leftover bits and bobs dotted around this house. But I did go out of my way to craft some lanterns and some decorated pots, using the leftover bricks to make a chimney. But this place was still missing something. So I scattered these leaf piles all over the floor as one final finishing touch. And I think that's perfect. Just a pretty basic interior using things I already had sitting around in my chests. I've got all my basic tools and some semblance of a sorting system in these barrels here. And I call this interior done. Today, a wandering trader stopped by to check on my starter build. Whoa, what is that? What is a golden dandelion? Oh no! He's gone! He's gone! I want this golden dandelion! But unfortunately, at this point in the early game, I had not so much seen an emerald, never mind acquired one. But that didn't stop me rooting through every single barrel just in case. Alas, no emerald. So I would have to get on with my plan for the day. Today is the very last day of the challenge, so we're just gonna ignore this man and his unobtainable golden dandelion, and instead build a path. Because one of the most important things about a starter build is finding it again after a little adventure and feeling a sense of homecoming. And currently, this is not really the homecoming that I wanted. It's a bit basic, a bit of ducking and weaving, a bit of walking through vines. And I've been trying to think of a kind of block that I haven't really used yet. And I think it's going to be tough, which I don't have any of. But I've got this pickaxe. And somewhere under here, I made a hole. Aha! So if I could find a little pocket of turf, I should be able to plop a path down in no time. Eventually, I did find a nice patch of turf, and once I'd dispatched the zombies guarding it, rather embarrassingly breaking my weapon in the process, and having to resort to hand-to-hand combat, I was able to mine turf to my heart's content. Or at least for as long as my pickaxe lasted. And hopefully that's enough! Once on the surface, I started clearing my way through the swamp for my turf path. I still wanted to retain the adventurous feeling of having to duck below mangrove roots, so I tried to weave the path through the vines and roots all the way down to the dock. And finally, I placed down all the firefly bushes that I've been collecting along my adventures. I told you they'd be relevant eventually, and here they are, the final missing piece of my starter build. I'm just gonna tuck these away, under the path, under my house, anywhere I can hide them, for this beautiful glow fly effect. So this is my completed 7-day starter build. But before we go and have a look at everybody else's, I thought it would be interesting to look at some of the nitty-gritty details of my time here on this server. The statistics tab shows me that I spent 10.71 hours on this server. These are the only mobs I ever killed. My most mined block was mangrove roots at 765. And so far as advancements goes, I think it's more interesting to look at which advancements I never got. I never acquired diamonds. I never got lava or obsidian, which means obviously I never went to the nether. I didn't fish a single fish, and the only animals I ever bred were those sea turtles on day 1. I lived a very simple life here on this server for these 7 days, but it's time to find out what the other players came up with. Another adorable tree stump. A giant teapot home. A pastel pink manor house.
I love the hat.
This colourful cottage. An entire rainbow village. A custom island with a working lighthouse.
So good.
A pink fairy core home. A flex house in the end.
The shulker box is built into the wall. Love it.
A magnificent castle.
Now I see. Right.
This cozy village.
Is my starter village?
A flower pot inspired home.
That is unreal. Those organics.
A cozy cave house. A whimsical little cottage. And a majestic palace.
Absolutely insane. Oh my goodness. These are wild. You are crazy. Oh my goodness. Castle starter build.
If you'd like to see the full tour in more detail, I'm posting it on my second channel, more LDShadowLady. But I also encourage you to check out everybody's channels that are linked in the description so you can see their progress throughout the 7 days. I hope you enjoyed this challenge. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time.